I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're watching 30 Days of me, Sonic, on Super Beanie-man Gaming.
In 1992, Sega released Sonic 2 on the Sega MEGADRIVE, and the game was a huge hit, and for me it was my favourite game of all time, up until around 2014 when Last of Us came out. But even the best and greatest games have flaws. There's still some little things that you could change, because after all, no game is truly perfect. And I wanted to do a review of Sonic 2, but I felt like there's already loads on the internet, so for now, my review is going to be a little bit different, as I talk about everything I hate about the classic Sonic the Hedgehog 2 game. Just like in Sonic 1, I think Sonic 2 still has a few badniks that are just placed in really cheap positions to just get a cheap shot on you. Those little tiny spikes in Emerald Hill that come out of the ground, they can be really annoying, especially if you end up getting squashed as the spikes push you into the ones above. What is that weird blue goo thing that comes out of those tubes in Chemical Plant? When those little spider things grab you in Chemical Plant Zone and Tails just doesn't save you and you end up losing all your rings. This water climb section in Chemical Plant is also quite annoying, especially when you always miss the platforms and you just go really slow. I definitely died here a few times. Or how about when you finally get past that bit and you get to these moving platforms and you end up falling down and have to go back all the way around to get back up to there, which means you've got to climb up again. Or maybe you fall down at this point when you're waiting for the platform, not realising that those ledges you're on fall away. Fuck! This bit as well always catches you off guard, especially for first time players, and the fact that there's a bottomless pit here, which is an instant death, is just annoying. The Chemical Plant Zone's boss is also just really lame, because it's just so easy to just kill him before he even really attacks you. The hardest part is getting past the platforms that fall away without dying when you want to get the capsule at the end. Aquatic Ruin has these arrows that shoot out of these pillars, and they can be quite hard to see, and they are kind of annoying to be honest, because they often appear throughout the level when you're running around over the loops and you just end up getting caught by one. It can just be really frustrating. The drowning sound effect bit of music that plays as you're running out of air is still terrifying. The lower path of Aquatic Ruin 2 is just not as fun as the path above, which is on land, so if you ever fall down into the water at the start of this act, you know you're in for a bit of a more shittier version of this act, because the lower bit's just not as fun. Just like when you see this quad arrow bit, or maybe when you come out of this bit on the spring and there's these fucking mosquito badniks that are just waiting for you above the water to just cheap shot you. Or how about getting crushed by the blocks in Casino Night? Or when you have to stay in those boring lift sections throughout the zone? Ugh. Or what about when you encounter this guy for the first time and just can't figure out how the hell you're supposed to hit him because he keeps bouncing you away? Oh my word. The trick is to come from behind, but you're not going to know that the very first time, so he's just a bit of a frustrating badnik to fight. Another thing that annoyed me about Casino Night is this bumper and where it's just deliberately placed just to be in your bloody way and just bounce you back and prevent you from getting through it. Just like in this section a bit later on, when you're trying to get over here but you just get ping-ponged all over the place, usually ended up further back than where you were when you started. Christ, it's annoying. Come on already! God! Ah, those small spikes reappear in the hilltop zone as well, just to catch you off guard. And then this lava section where the walls sort of close in on you and you've got to climb up as quick as you can before the lava fills the room and you end up dying. It can be quite annoying to get up there. What is this? Why? Why? The Hilltop Zone's boss is also disappointing, as you can kill him before he even does anything. Watch out for Tails sniping the last hit, because that'll cause you to fall through the lava and get hurt. Fuck you, Tails, making me lose my rings. You stay in there. The Mystic Cave Zone has these spikes that come out of the wall at one point, and they're always annoying, because they can just definitely catch you off guard the first time you're playing. This bridge here, if you end up causing it to collapse, it can be really hard to get that vine switch above. because you can't actually jump to it, so you'll kind of get stuck here the first time you come through because you don't know how the hell you're supposed to get that switch. But if you run all the way back to the left, the little mini bridge can respawn. Getting squashed by those the first time is annoying. These little zapper badniks are also a pain in the ass because they always glow as you're about to attack them. This bit in Mystic Caves, this pit is absolutely bullshit because if you fall down here without hitting the switch, you're just dead. There's no way out, you're just dead. Such a cheap bit. And then when you forget about it as you're coming back through the zone and you almost end up falling back down it again, it's just an annoying bit in the level that just seems bullshit. Ugh, Oil Ocean Zone, for me, is the worst zone in the game. I just hate it. I hate the oil, I hate the look of it, I hate the music. It's just, nah, I don't like it. And I especially don't like those green lids, especially when you get crushed by them as you're trying to jump on them and they end up shooting up in the air and landing on you. Ugh, just an awful zone that I just really don't enjoy. It's the black mark on Sonic 2 for me, this zone. Ugh. Metropolis is full of really annoying badniks. The Astron one, who shoots these spikes out when it explodes, is really annoying, and there's just loads of them everywhere in the level, which kind of ruins it. The Shellcracker one is also rather frustrating when it just punches you all the time, but perhaps the worst one is the Slicer badnik, as it's just so fucking cheap. Take that, you annoying cunt. Getting hit by the Astron spikes when you're on these cogs is annoying as hell too. And when you realise these spring things can kill you with their steam, oh my word. There's even more cheap Shellcracker placements throughout this zone that just really begin to frustrate after a while. Especially that one there when you get knocked back down. Fuck's sake. And then this section here is the worst bit in the game. Trying to get up here on these two cogs without getting hit by the Astron spikes and falling all the way back down is really annoying. And then you have to run away to reset the cog back to the bottom. It's just a pain. Sky Chase Zone is a really cool moment in the game, but when you try and spin dash across the screen for the first time and you end up dying, you kind of realise your mistake, and then you get a bit paranoid about moving on this plane because you know Tails just can't quite keep up with you, and it's a bit annoying that you will die just from doing the spin dash. I should be able to just do it and go across the screen. I don't see why I can't. Trying to get past the nebulas or trying to just hit them without getting hit yourself can be quite tricky and a bit annoying, especially as there's just so many of them throughout the level. And is it just me, or does anyone else think those turtleoids are just creepy as fuck? No? Just me then? Okay. What about this section here with all these nebulas? Good luck trying to get past there without getting hit. My word. All my rings just gone. Hanging in this Wing Fortress zone is unreliable because sometimes Sonic just won't grab the little handlebars and he'll just fall to his death. Why? Well, what about when you first do this zone and you think this is an animated cutscene, so you don't press anything and then you just watch as Sonic just dies off the screen? That definitely got me the first time, that's for sure. This bit is also very intense the first time you're trying to get across here, because if you fall it's an instant death, and it's definitely a nerve-wracking section. I can do it easily now, but the first time it was very frustrating. Or what about these things that just catapult you forwards, and then they put another one on the other side, so you just end up getting slingshot back and forth. And if you try and move while these are just moving you constantly, you'll probably end up losing all your momentum and falling down that hole to your death. I just hate them. This fight, my god, this was nerve-wracking, and my hands are still shaking from this fight. This was the first time I felt adrenaline when playing a video game, because I was so nervous during this boss battle, and it was just a really intense fight. Such a cool moment, but my god, it's scary. Or how about when you travel to the Death Egg with rings, and you have that really cool cutscene of him hanging on. Then, when the level loads, you realise you've lost all your rings now, and you don't have any. And then worst of all, when you go forward into the area ahead, you realise you don't have any rings at all for this stage. My word. How about when you're fighting Silver and you kind of nail down his pattern, but then he mixes up his moves and jumps instead of rolls at you and causes you to die? Or how about when you finally get past Silver Sonic and then you face Robotnik and this happens? Ugh, damn. And then you realise you have to start from the very beginning? Oh my god. And if this has ever happened to you here when you're playing Sonic 2, especially on the Mega Drive, then, well, you feel my pain. Because getting a game over right here at the very, very end of the game is just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. And the amount of hits he actually takes to beat is just fucking ridiculous. It's like 12, double the normal amount. Ugh. But there you go. That, for me, is pretty much everything that annoys me, everything that I hate about Sonic 2. And it isn't really that much, to be honest, because, like I said at the start, this game is an absolute classic, and I absolutely love it. And like I said at the start, for over 20 years, this was my favourite game of all time, only beaten recently by The Last of Us Remastered. But for me, this is still an absolutely awesome game, and I love it, and it's one that I can go back to all the time and just play it again and again and have fun, and maybe even sometimes discover a new route or a different area that I don't remember going to before, because it's just such a cool game to just run through at speed and just blast through every level, but then to also play again and just take your time and explore different routes. It's just so much fun. There's a lot of replayability here. The music is just amazing, and it's just a really cool game, and despite its little niggles, it's still a definite classic. But why can I not fly as Tails when I play as him? That has always bugged me, and I really wish they included the flight ability in this game.